Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the middle of October 2025. You have this card that says the past on it and this card that says changes on it. Pretty much everyone has had a change card for this set of readings. It makes sense. We have a bunch of retrogrades. Mercury is going to go retrograde next month as well. So, I think that there is a lot of change energy coming up for people at this time. You definitely could be setting yourself free from the past. You have the Six of Swords here. This could be any area of your life. It doesn't have to be just like love or something like that. It could be your whole entire life that you're kind of moving on from in some ways, mostly from the past, I would say. And it kind of makes sense with Mercury going retrograde, even though it's not until next month. Again, we enter into the shadow on October 21st so this month, and you could be feeling this push away from, things that used to serve you and no longer do, or you could just be looking for a change, plain and simple, right? And now is a great time, the end of the year here, to kind of get moving. One thing that I have said to a couple of the other signs is Saturn. Saturn's retrograde in Pisces right now, but Saturn will be moving into Aries next year in February. And the thing about Saturn is, especially in Aries, is that it wants us to build something long term, but especially Saturn retrograde, even though, it's in Pisces right now, it did start its retrograde in Aries. A great thing to do with Saturn retrograde in Aries is to start something that is built to last. Start like a project, a business, or to work on a long-term project like, writing a book or starting a business or starting a relationship, anything that you basically want to be permanent. It's a great time to start those things. So, a lot of you could be thinking about that. What I wanted to say about this is that the fact that it's going back into Pisces, I think, is going to allow us to start slow, and so we don't feel like we have to rush or something like that. And so now is a great time, is what I'm trying to say. You have the Ace of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles in your current general energies. The Ace of Swords can, of course, be a victory or success coming in for you. And it can also be like the truth or communication. One of your last cards says Mercury on it, and it says messages. And again, we are going to have Mercury retrograde coming up, but you definitely could be receiving communication. Ace of Swords can represent, receiving news. I kind of feel that you're getting clear on something because you have the Queen of Swords right here. And I think that I said this to you in your last reading as well. So for the week of October 6th, the weekly reading that I did for that week, I'm pretty sure I said something about you like getting an answer you need, or getting some news that kind of opens your eyes a little bit here. We have the Nine of Cups and the Star. The Queen of Swords is clarity, but the Star can also be clarity. The Star is your card, Aquarius, but it's about focusing on that one star that's right in the middle. We have these 7 other stars. These are the 7 stars of the Pleiades that show up on the Star card. And so the Star wants us to have a North Star. And I'm connecting the dots here, so bear with me. But the Ace of Swords is a laser-like focus. So, just down and dirty, quick tarot message here. It just looks to me like you're getting clarity on something that is like a wish in your life that you should focus on. You have the Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores, improvements coming in for you. A lot of people have had the Six of Swords as well. It doesn't really surprise me. Next month, we'll also have Uranus retrograde into Taurus. And you being a fixed sign, you're definitely going to feel that more than like everybody else, except for Taurus maybe, and the other fixed signs. But I feel a lot of you could be trying to set yourself free. Uranus and Taurus, according to Chris's crappy astrology here, is freedom. It wants us to set ourselves free from something that has been keeping us stuck. The Ace of Swords, the sword, is above the mountains on the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords can kind of represent charging through an obstacle or, quickly overcoming an obstacle. So, I'm wondering if some of you are moving past an obstacle here this month, which is great, even before the retrogrades happen, and you're kind of getting moving. So I feel pretty good overall about that Six of Swords. You have the Two of Pentacles. I actually think it's going to be a busy time for you. The whole end of the year here, Aquarius, so maybe not even just this month. And a lot of you could find yourself being busier than you have been all year. If you are, I feel this is going to be a good thing. It looks to me like you're working on something that you're trying to get attention on. Star, Three of Pentacles, could be like a business, a side hustle, yourself, you have the Lovers here, so if you're trying to get love, obviously you could be getting busy, getting attention on yourself to find a person. But I just feel general kind of like busy energy on the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles does want you to work hard, play hard. One warning I will give you with Saturn retrograde is time. Saturn retrograde definitely does not want us to burn ourselves out. So I would say creating balance between the two. The problem with Saturn retrograde especially is it can give us this sense of urgency. There kind of is a little bit of a sense of urgency right now because we also have Neptune retrograding in Pisces at exactly the same time, basically. They both went retrograde within a month of each other. They're both going to move back into Aries within a month of each other. So there is a little sense of urgency because Neptune and Saturn together in Pisces wants us to accomplish some sort of impossible dream, which I talk about all the time because you have about 3 more months, right, before, to make it happen is what I'm trying to say here. But again, there's a big difference between having a sense of urgency and rushing, right? Or like forcing energy. So I think it's perfectly fine for you to be busy, but I would just make sure that you're not burning yourself out, that you're not getting sick, getting injured, things like that, right? I would be, kind of taking your time at the same time. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Devil. You could be cutting something toxic out of your life. This could be a truth that's being revealed. And that's kind of what I feel for you here, Aquarius. Is this a big deal? No. It kind of feels to me like you made the right decision. That's like what I'm getting intuitively. So, let's say you left a person like years ago. You could be now seeing that you did indeed make the right decision. It's like that kind of truth. It's like maybe you see your ex pop up on Facebook, and maybe it's a police post. Maybe they just got arrested or something like that. I don't know. But, again, I think you're seeing some sort of truth that you made the right choice in the past. With the Six of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands. Definitely time for you to be bold and assertive. Again, there's a big difference between rushing and this energy that we're talking about here. The beautiful thing about Neptune, especially in Pisces, is, again, we don't have to rush. We just have to take the first step. That is enough. So, again, even if you're feeling a sense of urgency, I would still, it's like, get moving, but take your time at the same time. It's like, get started, but don't rush. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I said this to you in your last reading as well. The Queen of Wands really does what makes her happy as well. She has this sunflower, which points towards the sun. She's also the card of learning as you go, which I'm pretty sure I say to you all the time as well. So it seems to me like it's a time where you might not have all the answers, but that's okay. You can figure things out as you go along, believe it or not. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Cups. Yeah, there's definitely love in this reading. So Knight of Cups could be a knight in shining armor. You have the Lovers, the Ten of Cups here. Definitely could be, a person who sweeps you off your feet. This could also be your dream, though. The Knight of Cups is very dreamy. He has some sort of dream. I think, with this basically happening in your second house, Neptune and Saturn retrograding back into your second house, it's like you're definitely probably dreaming of something. And so I would, feel free to take the first step there. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Swan Spirit. Says time for a deep dive. Yes, we'll talk about it. You have this Hummingbird. It says be here, be now. Yes, so great time to be present. You have the Star card. On the Star card, she is kind of just dipping her toes in the water here. You've probably heard me say this to you before, but with the Star card, we have to dive in. We have to go all the way into that pool. That is the pool of universal consciousness. We have to tap into the energy field, right? And swans, they feed underwater. They get their nutrients from basically the emotional world, right? Underwater, or intuition and things like that. And so, number one, the swans want you, the Swan Spirit wants you to take care of yourself, wants you to nurture your emotions, because that's where you will be getting your nutrients from. But I also do feel that you have to dive into something and really commit to some sort of goal, wish, or dream. You have the Lovers, the Ten of Cups, and the Strength card. The Lovers can, of course, represent love coming in for you. I don't know. I feel like there's love coming in here. I feel like you're gaining clarity on a situation. You have the Queen of Swords. So, let's say you're interested in a person and you don't have any answers. Queen of Swords would be pretty good going up, going up this way. Here with that Ten of Cups, you could be getting clarity. This could be something you've been wishing or asking for with the Nine of Cups as well. I also feel that some of you could be making an important decision. You have several cards of making an important decision. Ace of Swords, Six of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Lovers. Lovers traditionally was a card of being at a crossroads. it was, traditionally it's like having a choice to make in love, but I feel that it can really be a choice in anything that you're trying to make a decision on. And so it seems to me like some of you are making an important decision this month. You have the Ten of Cups. Overall, I'm going to say some other things, but I kind of feel overall the Ten of Cups is encouraging you to focus on your own fulfillment. The Ten of Cups is like ultimate fulfillment. It is fortune after difficulty, good things happening in your life after a difficult period of time. But I feel that it's kind of saying you need to put yourself in a position of fulfillment. You also end with the Nine of Cups with the star. A lot of people read the Nine of Cups as a wish card. I always say I don't consider the Nine of Cups to be a wish unless it comes up with the star, and you have the star. So, I would say that this definitely could be something you're wishing for, or like a dream come true coming in for you, Aquarius. But the Ten of Cups wants us to put ourselves in a position of celebration. These people are celebrating by looking, they're celebrating these 10 cups that exist above their heads. Your favorite card, Aquarius, right here, the Seven of Cups, comes up in all your readings, right? The Seven of Cups, the cups exist in the clouds. And same thing with the Ten of Cups. These cups exist above these people's heads. They have the dream, but they need to dive into the pool on the star and bring that dream down to earth. You have the strength to do it. You have the strength card. So clearly you have everything you need. The strength card, I feel, is our own words, how we talk to ourselves. She is holding this lion's mouth. The lion is her inner critic, her inner demons, those types of things. And she really listens to herself. And she's taking control of her inner voice. The lion is submitting to her right here. So a lot of you, I feel like there is a dream or there is a wish that you've been asking for. And I feel this is about taking control of the doubts inside of you and, really believing in yourself more. Maybe you need to tell yourself you are enough more or something along those lines. And, I think you need to believe that you can have something more because maybe it's not enough. Maybe you need to take control of that, voice in the back of your head that says you can't have something with that card. With the Lovers, you have the World. So pretty good because you have two cards of accomplishment now, the World and the Ace of Swords right next to each other. So there could be some sort of accomplishment or big win coming in for you. The World can also represent completion, can say that you're like starting a new journey in love with the Lovers. Could also represent, distance. I don't really necessarily feel that for you, Aquarius, but I will put it out there. And the World also basically says you have to put yourself out into the world to find love. So for those of you that want love, I would get out there. Even the Ten of Cups sometimes I think is a card of like dating. So if you're looking for something serious, you might have to, put yourself out there and start dating to find something serious. With the Ten of Cups, yeah, really good. You have the Six of Wands as well, which is like a victory or an achievement. So now you have 3 cards of an achievement or a success coming in for you here, Aquarius. Like I said, dream come true is kind of what's popping into my head here with these 2 cards and the Ten of Cups as well. I'm not saying this is going to be something that's going to be like super easy, but I definitely feel that you are now like gaining clarity on how to make a dream come true in your life. Like I said, you're going to have to bring it down to earth, but it looks pretty good. With the Strength card, you have the Strength card. So the universe saying I meant what I said. And I would be working on your inner voice. I think the only thing that could be holding you back right now might be your own imagination. And again, this is kind of like another challenge with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces dissolves things, so things can start to go away. It's funny because I just always notice these things like just in the world in general, right? Like YouTube, for example, there are a bunch of people complaining about views right now and like all these other things that are going on. I'm like, this is like classic Neptune and Pisces, just like illusions dissolving and things like that. The trick here is that, like, again, sometimes we can think that we want something with Neptune and Pisces. It's like we can have a dream and then it kind of dissolves. And then we have another dream that might be related to that other one. Then it dissolves. And so, I think life teaches us that, or, maybe we learn this in school or something, that we have to like pick one thing and we can only have that one thing. Neptune and Pisces is like, oh, here's something you want and then you don't want it anymore. Here's something else that you want, then you don't want it anymore. And so it kind of like messes with our brain because we're like, why can I just not pick something, And but the trick is to follow one inspiration to the other. which we talk about a lot because of Pluto in Aquarius for you, Aquarius. And so I think you need to look at these inspirations as kind of like showing you the inspirations you're having or the dreams you're having. They might be showing you different aspects of a life that you want. Like maybe there's a little piece of each dream or imagination you're having that's adding up to a big picture. The Star is a big picture card. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this main male card. It says the person I'm reading for, if male, an important man in the reading, husband, partner, boyfriend. You have this good news. It says, and we talked about that. It says all forms of communication, text, email, documents, phone calls, letters, notes, and voice messages. A lot of communication. I think your last reading I did for you talked about a lot of communication as well. This could also be intuitive or kind of more mental with the Queen of Swords, where you're coming up with answers on your own. Definitely could be attracting a person as well. Sometimes, even though that says male on it, sometimes I think these people cards in this deck could just be talking about you in the reading, even if you're not a man. You have the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Cups, and the Two of Swords. So Queen of Swords, again, she has clouds only halfway up her body. She's gaining clarity on something for the first time. She's kind of like cautiously optimistic as well. She has her hand out, so she's willing to receive, but she also has her sword up. So she is looking at the Nine of Cups. So clearly there is like a wish coming in for you or something that you've been wishing for that you're gaining clarity on, and it just looks really good. You have the Seven of Cups. Again, Seven of Cups can be about being spoiled for choice or having a lot of options. He's looking at all the options in front of him here, Aquarius, and he needs to bring this dream down to earth. You always get this card with me. I always say the same thing, that you need to kind of get out of your head, and you can't just keep dreaming of something. You have to like find out what is actually going to happen. And so I feel that some of you need to, it's almost like you need to embrace the adventure. Again, the other problem with Neptune and Pisces is we can live a dream so much in our head that we feel like we actually lived it or had it, and we never did. It's just an illusion. So you have to not create illusions in your life. You have to make sure that you're kind of following through on things and you're making things happen, right? You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is this or that thinking. I think I say this to you all the time, Aquarius, that the other thing is that things are not going to go how you think. She is thinking this or that, but she has that island behind her, right? So she's kind of stuck in a stalemate, not making a decision, but she's thinking about something that probably isn't going to go how she thinks in the first place. So she's like worrying about things that she doesn't need to worry about. She's imagining things that might not happen. She's kind of telling herself a story before she actually lives the story. And what she needs to do is go to this island because she needs to go on an adventure. She needs to find like true fulfillment. And the only way she can do that is to start the adventure and put those swords down. She also needs to trust her intuition. Blindfolds in the tarot represent not trusting your intuition. And so I think that your intuition is telling you you need to do something. And I feel like if you would do it, that things would go really well. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles. Again, this is like spinning plates. Again, imagining too much. He has too much going on. He's trying to juggle. He's trying to do too much at once. And so I feel that simplification would be a good idea. Ace of Swords is a laser-like focus. It's focusing on exactly what you want and nothing else. That could be very helpful. With the Seven of Cups, you have the King of Swords. Yeah, these two are divine counterparts, but they're my least favorite divine counterparts because they're not talking. So sometimes they can be bad. Sometimes they just are two people who don't know each other yet. So if you're looking for love, you could be attracting a person you don't really know yet, or you just haven't talked to yet. You do have these cards of messages here, so there could be communication. The King of Swords can also be knowledge and wisdom, right? The only way you can gain wisdom is to use your knowledge, right? I think you have a lot going on up here, Aquarius, but not a lot going on down here. And I'm not calling you out, although I am a little bit, right? So I think that you have a lot going on mentally, clearly, and I feel the solution is to get things going on in the 3D down here so that you can see what's going to happen in whatever it is that you're dreaming about or imagining. With the Two of Swords, you have the Four Wands. Yeah, it could be marriage, but the Four Wands is also freedom. Again, I said this to all fixed signs in this set of readings, that the fixed signs have Uranus going back into Taurus next month in November. And so freedom is going to become a big theme for you again. Pretty much since Uranus has been in Taurus, even if you don't realize it, you've probably been thinking or wanting to do things that would set you free or make you feel more free. And again, this is about to be triggered again inside of you. So again, I think you need to set yourself free from the overthinking or whatever this is, so that you can, celebrate the Four Wands. Those people are celebrating on the other side of the Four Wands. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Mercury card that says messages, this Pallas Athena card that says think. I think you've done enough thinking, honestly, here, Aquarius. It is coming up in the good stuff, so maybe you're finally, getting a message or news that kind of moves you forward, which is probably exactly what you need. You have the Nine of Cups, the Star, and the Three of Pentacles. Like I said, Nine of Cups and the Star is a wish. So I do feel that you should make a wish. Or if you haven't already, you probably already have. I feel you have been kind of like asking or praying or asking for something in life. And that could be the wish that's being fulfilled here with the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups wants us to be in fulfillment as well, wants us to match the energy of the thing we want. So if we match energy, we can get the thing we want faster. And that's what I would do with that card. You have the Star, which is you showing up. So whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength, allows you to get what you want from the reading. Like I said, I really get the feeling that you need to dive into something. You need to go into the deep end here and really get into that pool of universal consciousness. She's already asked for something. We have these ripples that are going out into the pool of universal consciousness, basically saying that you have asked the universe for something. Now you have to get into the energy of the thing that you want so that you can actually get it. It's like the first step is ask. The next step is to match the energy. And I know that sounds overly simple, but it is just that simple, right? It is that easy with the Nine of Cups and the Star. You have the Three of Pentacles. A lot, again, you're going to get this card a lot over the next 20 years, if I'm still reading on YouTube in 20 years. So the Three of Pentacles, with the Pluto in your sign, you have to put your work on display. Pluto is power, and being in your first house, in your sign, you are definitely going to be thinking about where you get your power, how you take power in work and business and love, how you use your power in life and all that other stuff. Three of Pentacles is about just doing the work. This guy here, he doesn't have to prove anything. The proof is right here. He has done the work, right? And so whatever you're trying to do, if you just do the work, your work will basically speak for itself. And that's really what the Three of Pentacles says. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Ten of Pentacles, everything you want and desire in your life. Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. It is creating everything you want and desire. So you probably have big dreams, obviously. And, this could be you wishing for your Ten of Pentacles, and whatever the Ten of Pentacles is for you, and it's going to be different for all of you. I also think money could be going very well for you here, Aquarius, especially for those of you that are putting the work in, or if you're showing your work off. With the Star, you have the Hermit. Yes, the Hermit has the Star in his lantern right here, and so he's been through a dark night of the soul. He's kind of finished the most difficult part of his journey. Now he just has to come down from the mountain, and he has to shine his light. He needs to open that lantern up and shine his star out all over the place. But, again, the thing with the Hermit is that he's been through something difficult, and, he is in isolation. He's kind of he's isolated, but he's protected because no one else is up there with him. And so that is the challenge with the Hermit. Even though it's showing up in the good stuff, I feel like I need to say this, that, he needs to come down and step into the world, which I definitely would if I were you. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Empress. Yes, very good. A lot of abundance probably coming from your work here, Aquarius. I would say that, no giving up on anything here, Aquarius, as well. If you've been working on something for a long time and you've been hoping to get better results, I kind of feel this is encouraging you to stick with it and not give up. You have this Grasshopper card that says situation in the balance that requires careful handling. Could be the King and Queen of Swords. If you're attracting a person or something, it's maybe you need to open up more or talk more. Maybe there needs to be communication. So definitely something to think about. You have this funnel that says period of frustration, lessons to be learned. This is probably what you've been through, like all the other fixed signs. So I feel that you've been through this, And I call this card life because I think life is like a funnel. We're all just trying to figure out how to get more focused and figure out what we're supposed to be doing. And so usually we start off at the top of the funnel and we bounce off one side, we bounce off the other, and hopefully over time we get more focused, right? And so a lot of you could be doing that. You have the scissors card. It says disappointment in some affair. I feel like I've been saying to you, Aquarius, that you're leaving something. Like, I feel like I've said this to you before. Like, if you're working with a group of people, something like that, it's like maybe things aren't working as you want them to, but I feel like there are things that you could do on your own. And so, I don't know. I feel like if you're in a situation that you need to leave, that you've learned enough from it, and now it's time to move forward. You have this leg. It says stepping into new experiences. Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of just exploring right now, doing new things. I think everybody should do it. We have to. Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups. One of the solutions is to experience variety with the Seven of Cups. Like let's say you're doing something and you don't know what to do next. Going and learning from a bunch of people can be the thing that gives you the answer, right? And so we have to experience variety with this card. You have this cup. It says you should accept valid criticism. Sure. I never know what to say on this card because it's like, yeah, sure. Of course. But this looks pretty good, Aquarius. I do like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your month.